We do have a Friday afternoon emergency podcast. You're watching, you know the title, you see it. It's no shock why we are doing this here. Not what I wanted to see, and I am genuinely surprised we are here. But one of the best freshmen in the country has played his last game for the North Carolina Tar Heels, and in all likelihood, he has played his last college game, which is a dagger, man. Caleb Wilson is done, and he is done because he broke his right thumb on Thursday in a non-contact drill that will require surgery, and that unfortunately will put his timeline past the end of this college basketball season. Important context here, and I've got some additional intel for you in this quickie emergency episode. When Caleb Wilson got injured in the game against Miami back in February 10, he broke the bone in his left hand. When he did this yesterday, it was when he was dunking a ball, and then he broke his right thumb. This is exactly from North Carolina's release. Quote, he was cleared for individual workouts late last week and was working his way back to rejoining the lineup, but he broke his right thumb on Thursday while dunking, end quote. Wilson leaves here at 19.8 points per game, 9.4 rebounds per game, won ACC Freshman of the Week 3 times in a season, obviously, when you've got Boozer just down the road in Durham. That game on Saturday is at Cameron at 6:35 Eastern, and Carolina will try and give it a go without Wilson, not just in this game but for the rest of the season. UNC had done well without Wilson to this point, and I'll get to that in just a second, but how we got here is surprising. So I did check in on the situation earlier this week, and what I was told by multiple sources is that Caleb Wilson's parents said, this is going to be our son's decision. There is not going to be, as long as the doctor says he can go, then the coaching staff, the agents, the marketing people, all the other people around in the camp, they're not saying. He is going to decide, and Caleb Wilson was determined to play in this game against Duke. Going into Thursday, was going to get some real run for the first time as much as possible, and then another real practice on Friday was the plan. And then I got told that Wilson essentially went up for a dunk during practice, and in the moment, he thought he just jammed it. Like he just thumb jams against the rim, a little bit of a to it. But no, freak injury, doesn't feel right in the morning. They give it an X-ray, and here we are. It's broken. So not even going into Thursday did they think this was going to be a case. It was like, all right, let's see how we're doing into Friday, and hopefully he'll be good to go on Saturday, but we're just not going to get there. And I know everyone was shocked by this. Like, I think the players were gearing up for Wilson to be available, to be on the floor. And that, from a mental perspective, I'm quite curious on. Like, he's been around the team, a real force, guy who loves wearing that uniform. And you knew that you were crescendoing back to his return, ideally this weekend at Duke. And if not, okay, we're going to have him for the ACC tournament. Let's see what we can do there. Let's see what we can do in the NCAA tournament. And now that's ripped from you, and it's ripped from you very quickly, like in shocking fashion. How does that group respond? It's one thing when you lose Wilson in the midst of the ACC season, but the diagnosis is, okay, he should be able to return. Well, hopefully it'll be in time for the ACC tournament. But as a team, as a group, you got that in the back of your mind, like, okay, we'll get him back. Let's see if we can manage without him. And manage they did. Since he went down in that game against Miami, which the game, Carolina did lose that game, but win at home over Pitt, lost to NC State, and that was a blowout loss, but then won at Syracuse easily, got the win over Louisville at home, which was good, got a good win over Virginia Tech at home, and then just got a win over Clemson. Some of these margins have been narrow, though. The Louisville win was by 3. The Clemson win was by 4. The Virginia Tech win was by 7. But Carolina is better than 7 points at home against Virginia Tech this season. So now we see how they rally and how they do without him. Luka Bogovac is coming off his best game in a Tar Heel uniform. That is important. That's key. I think Seth Trimble's presence on this roster is downright mandatory to their chances at making a run into the ACC tournament deep, going into the second weekend of the NCAA tournament, if they can get there. Derek Dixon's presence, he doesn't play, he's obviously the point guard, but his presence increased is going to be all the more important. We're seeing Jonathan Powell, Kyan Evans, their minutes per game, that's now up north of 15 overall. So it's a dagger. Like, I hate this so much for Caleb Wilson, because he was so proudly outspoken about how much he loved the opportunity to play college basketball, to play for the Tar Heels. If he had if this is about to be an extremely tough 24, 48, 72 hours for him on every level, I completely get it because he's almost certainly going to the NBA. Like, I don't know. I'm not even getting into like, okay, he's had 2 hand thumb injuries. Where does it do with his stock? That's a question for after the season, as far as I'm concerned. He is not going to have the opportunity to go play against Duke in that building and in Cameron. Come on, man. Not going to have the chance to experience what it's like to be on the floor at an ACC tournament and the environment that comes with that and the Carolina fans that will flock to the building. He'll experience it sitting on the sideline, not the same thing. He'll be there for his teammates. I'm sure he's going to be as great of a cheerleader that we'll see over the next couple of weeks, but he's not going to be there. And then he's not going to know what it feels like to step on the floor, wear a jersey, and compete on the biggest stage in college basketball and one of the greatest sporting events in the world. And you just in getting to know a little bit about him from afar, hearing what people say about him. I mean, I was told in the lead up to this, even just this news happening, like he was so determined to return as quickly as possible under the best and healthiest of circumstances and was working his ass off to make this happen and to say, no, I'm going to be there for my team. I'm going to try and get us the best possible seed to give Carolina a chance to make that run, to get to another Final Four. And it's just ripped from him. And it's ripped from him after he's in a non-contact, non-5-on-5 drill, goes up for a dunk, and it's his good, healthy, fully healthy hand, and he inadvertently breaks a bone in his thumb. How much of a bummer is that, man? Just, I hate it. I hate everything about it because he deserved to have this moment. And now, with all that awaits for him, still likely top 10 draft pick status and all of the millions that come with that. He's just going to have to be a one and done that didn't even get the full one associated with it, which is truly, truly unfortunate. And it also, by the way, it adds to the list of injuries. I mean, again, can we turn off the injury machine in this sport? We have this. Now he's a role player, but LJ Kaysen, obviously, he's out for Michigan. JT Toppin, done. Richie Saunders, done. All vital, like top and first team All-American. Caleb Wilson playing like a top 5 freshman. He's done. Richie Saunders, top 25 player in America, potential first round draft pick. He's out. It's really been unfortunate, and I hate to see it. But it's where we are, and now we see how Hubert Davis and that team can respond, how they respond in the immediacy of this news. Going up against Duke in this situation here. Josh, I don't know if we can change the graphic or the picks after the fact. GP and I might take Duke in the Final 4-1 as a result of this. But yeah, just terrible. So it's big enough where we felt it was worth a quick emergency pod. GP's in transit right now. I actually got to bounce out of the house soon, so we couldn't do both of us at the same time. But the big thing is that Carolina was not expecting this at all. I don't even think Caleb Wilson woke up on Friday thinking that he had a broken thumb. I don't think he thought that, but he does. And you got to take care of it. And it's going to require surgery, and that's going to require rehab. And so, unfortunately, his season is over. We see where we go with Carolina here. Who can step up? Who can be that guy that can, Vesar, his role is all the more important. I think Bogavats becomes a guy that they just have to rely so significantly on, even though he's not the big that Wilson is, what he can do to kind of spread out the offense and be an impact player on the floor for sure. So a quickie in and out, just a quick pod here, obviously, for a lot of you that get to this later in the day on Friday, and we had that big Friday AM show, wanted to at least acknowledge this in the same day while we could. So appreciate you dropping in. This is why you want to subscribe to the YouTube channel. If you do, and if you did, and you have the bell activation, that icon thing going, you got the alert when this went live in real time. We got a couple of chats here on the YouTube, and we appreciate that all the same. We will be back at some point on Sunday night after what is going to be a humongous Friday, loaded Saturday, and then even some big games on Sunday. As I talk to you right now, Belmont's already out of the Belmont, the number 1 seed in the Missouri Valley, a team that probably would have been on the 12 line and a real threat to be an upset candidate, Cinderella candidate in the tournament. It's gone like that. March is already here. It's volatile, man. So that's the first noisy result of what's going to be just one after another over the next 48 plus hours. So we'll talk to you on Sunday when we get to the developments in the Duke Carolina game and everything else in college basketball. Until then, enjoy the hoops. 5 bids are coming over the next 48 hours.